guys, welcome back to another YouTube video. I know it's been a while, but we're back here, and today's video we are going to be reacting to his story. I've been seeing this a lot on YouTube, so I just want to make a video of this, so let's get into it. So the first video is called I Tried Photographing the Mona Lisa. Alright, let's watch it.
My camera to take one photo of the Mona Lisa when 3 security guards slammed me onto the floor in front of the whole crowd. I had no idea why and screamed until a guard pointed to the sign, "No photography." He hauled me up by my arm. "The police will be here any second. This is a criminal offense." But I didn't even take a picture. He didn't listen. I'd spent 2 years saving for this trip, and now I was about to go to jail over something I didn't do. They dragged me into the corner, and a guard got in my face. "That painting is worth more than your entire lineage." Over his shoulder, I saw the police marching toward me. I threw my hands up. "Please, let me show you my camera." I didn't take anything. I grabbed my camera, but some guy shoved past me toward the front, and my finger accidentally hit the shutter, and the camera flashed directly at the Mona Lisa. The whole room gasped. The guard's face went red with anger. "He just did it again! Get him!" He yanked my Canon off my neck as the police tackled me and cuffed my hands behind my back. "You'll rot in prison for damaging our Mona Lisa." But when I looked up, the man who shoved me was circling the painting, flashing it multiple times from every angle. But every guard was too busy with me to notice. I had one shot before my life was over, so I screamed, "What about him? Look!" Every guard had turned, and the man's flash brightened the whole painting. He saw the guards and bolted, shoving through the crowd as the guards chased him. But the man was already out the exit. A cop mumbled, "We lost him." But then I remembered the accidental flash I took earlier, and my whole body jolted. "Check my camera! I may have caught him on camera!" The cop grabbed my Canon and turned the screen around. Filling the frame was the man who shoved me, his camera raised at the Mona Lisa. The flash that got me handcuffed was the same one that set me free. The cop uncuffed me, and I finally looked at the painting I'd saved 2 years for. Wasn't even worth a picture. Mid. I lifted my...
Okay, so that was a good video, and he got karma, so next video.
A man
Okay, so this is called I Warned Him to Stop. Alright, let's watch it.
tried stealing my daughter's teddy bear at the laundromat, so I simply let him. My coworker Grant walked in with his wine-stained blazer and immediately laughed when he saw me counting quarters to wash Mia's teddy. "They don't pay you enough to own a washer, huh?" I said nothing and kept feeding quarters because I couldn't afford a new teddy. But after Grant put his blazer in, he walked over and started tapping the glass where her teddy spun. "You're seriously washing that dirty thing? Why don't you buy the kid a real toy?" Mia immediately stood up to him. "That is a real toy. My daddy got it for me." I felt proud of her until Grant smirked. "It's not a real toy, little girl. My kids have laser swords and arcade machines. Those are real toys." Mia suddenly went quiet, and Grant knelt down to her. "It's okay. Your daddy just doesn't love you enough to work hard and buy you nice things." My fists instantly curled as Mia backed away and teared up. But I wasn't going to swing in front of her, so I simply stepped between them. "Be quiet, Grant. For your own sake." He laughed in my face.
Oh,
or what?
snap.
That's when the machine behind us beeped. I opened the door to take Mia's teddy, but Grant shoved me out of the way and snatched it. He held it over Mia's head. She reached and screamed, "No," as tears ran down her cheeks, but he just
messed
laughed.
up.
That's when I snapped. I physically picked Grant and stuffed him into an open washing machine with Mia's
snap.
teddy still in his hand.
Oh, snap. Sorry for pausing, but that is insane. Alright, let's play again.
I shut the door and put in my last 2 quarters. He screamed, "I'm sorry, please," but I just calmly pressed spin. Mia laughed and tugged my sleeve. "That was so funny. But what about my teddy, Daddy?" I shrugged. It needed another wash anyway. Then I pointed at the floor where Grant's wallet had fallen when I lifted him. I took out 2 20s and pressed them into Mia's hand. "Come on, let's go buy a new teddy and some pancakes." We walked out while Grant banged on the glass. A man...
Oh, snap. Alright, so even if there's other better videos, this is my favorite one so far. So, let's add.
My alarm buzzed at 7
So this video is called The Day Kept Restarting. Alright, let's watch it.
a.m. And when I picked up my phone, my heart sank because it said October 23rd for the 4th morning in a row. I was stuck living October 23rd over and over, and I had no idea why. When I got to school and sat down to eat breakfast, I spotted a kid named Elliot sitting alone at the end of the table. I nudged the girl next to me. "Do you know that kid?" She shrugged. "No idea." Something about him stuck with me because I'd sat in that exact seat myself before I made friends, and I remembered exactly how alone I'd felt. When the bell rang, I watched 2 seniors follow him toward the gym doors, and something in my gut told me they had something to do with why this day kept resetting. By loop 7, I stopped walking straight to homeroom and followed them instead, staying far enough back to watch without being seen. One senior grabbed Elliot's backpack and dumped it upside down onto the floor. Whoops! Elliot dropped to his knees to grab his papers, and nobody slowed down to help. My throat went tight, remembering what that felt like. On loop 9, I got there just as one senior shoved Elliot toward the stairwell at the end of the gym hall. "Watch your step," the senior laughed, shoving him again, right as Elliot's foot missed the top step. "Stop!" I screamed, but I was too far away to do anything. I saw him fall, then woke up in my bed at 7 a.m., heart pounding, before I ever heard him hit the bottom. That's when I realized this time loop wouldn't end until I actually saved Elliot's life myself. That day, I skipped breakfast and ran straight to the gym doors, planting myself between Elliot and the stairwell before either senior could get close. "Leave him alone," one of them smirked. "Or what?" I grabbed Elliot's arm and pulled him back a full step from the stairs. I was trying to think of my next move
Alright,
when a
nice
teacher
move.
rounded the corner and both seniors took off. Elliot stared at me, still shaking. "Why'd you do that?" "Because nobody should feel alone." The next morning when my alarm went off, it finally said October 24th. Elliot waved at me when I got to school, then walked over and sat down next to me instead of alone. My alarm buzzed and years straight, an old man would come into the
Alright, so this video is called He Loves Gumbo. Okay.
diner every day at 8 a.m. sharp, sit in the corner, and order gumbo with no cracker. All of us would gossip. Why doesn't he talk to anyone? Do you think he's hiding something? But none of us were ready for the truth. And one day, at 8:15 a.m., when he still hadn't shown up, I was extremely worried. By noon, he'd missed his first bowl in 10 years, and I knew I had to do something. I untied my apron mid-shift and jogged the 4 blocks to his building. When I got to the front door, I knocked. "Earl, it's Ray from the diner. I'm just checking in." There was no response, so I pressed my ear to the door. Inside, I could hear a weak voice repeating, "Help," over and over. My heart was pounding, so I pressed my face to the window, and through a gap in the curtain, I saw a dark blood stain soaked into the carpet. I instantly started slamming myself into the door frame. "I'm coming in, Earl." And when the door finally split open, Earl was on the floor between the couch and the coffee table, lips gray, one arm bent wrong beneath him. "Fell last night," he whispered. "Knew you'd come." I called 911 kneeling on that carpet and held his hand until the sirens arrived. At the hospital, a paramedic pulled me aside. If he spent another night on that floor, he'd be gone. You finding him is what saved him. A nurse stopped me at the desk with a clipboard. "Who should we call?" "Family. Emergency contact." I opened my mouth, but nothing came out. I realized I'd spent 10 years gossiping about what Earl was hiding, but the truth is, he was never hiding anything. He was just alone, and his gumbo routine was the only thing that saved him. No, it's just me. From there, every evening I brought him gumbo with no cracker, and before they discharged him, the regulars passed a jar down the counter and rented him the apartment right beside the diner so we'd know if anything happened to him again. On his first morning home, Earl eased onto his stool and grinned at me. "Gumbo, hold the cracker." The lawyer pointed at—
Alright, this video is called I Got Sued Over a Dragon. Okay.
at a picture of my inflatable dragon and told the judge it was the demon Baphomet. "Your Honor, this thing signals evil every single night with the defendant's purple lights." I sat there in my one good suit, trying to figure out how an inflatable dragon had turned into a lawsuit that could cost me thousands of dollars, but at least I had come prepared with doorbell footage that made me a lot less nervous about what was about to happen. The neighbor got up next and wiped her eyes with a tissue. "My son can't sleep because the dragon watches him from his window." Her lawyer nodded like it was the saddest thing he'd ever heard, and I rolled my eyes. He kept going. "Tell the court about the fog machine." She let out a dramatic wail. "It's not fog, it's spirit smoke, calling something in from the other side." Then she pulled out her phone. "And ever since he turned that thing on, I can't win a Wordle. My 47-day streak is gone." The judge just blinked at her, so her lawyer jumped back in, holding up a photo of my porch lights. "These purple lights form a pentagram when they hit the dragon's scales." I almost laughed out loud, but the judge shot me a look, so I bit my tongue. When it was finally my turn, I didn't have a fancy lawyer, just a folder of receipts. The dragon's name is Puffy McScales, not Baphomet, and I bought him at a party store for $80. Then I hooked my phone up to the big screen. Also, here's a video my doorbell took over the weekend. I smiled as the video showed my neighbor's son and 3 friends climbing all over the dragon, laughing and taking pictures with it. This is her son enjoying my Halloween decorations. The judge leaned forward. "Ma'am, is this true?" Her face went red and she started stuttering, so the judge banged his gavel. "Case dismissed." I left the dragon up an extra week just to picture her face every time she drove by. The lawyer pointed at a picture of my inflatable—
Alright. That was okay. She at least got karma. Alright, next video. My gosh.
I pet my horse, trying to get her to calm down. When
Alright, so this video is he said a horse kicks wouldn't hurt him. Alright, let me repeat that. He said a horse kick wouldn't hurt him. Oh, okay, got it.
my cousin grabbed her tail and yanked it for the 3rd time. Rusty whinnied and pulled away, and I instantly told Bradley, "Stop, my horse will kick you if you keep doing that." But Bradley just shrugged. "So what?" I paused. "What do you mean, so what?" "So what if your horse kicks me?" He flexed his biceps. "I'm strong, I can take it." I laughed and told him if my horse kicks him, he'll end up in the hospital. That's when Bradley clenched his fists. "Nah, man, that's not how it works. How can a horse kick hard when it kicks backwards?" He kicked his leg backwards fired like he was proving a point. See, there's barely any power when I do it like that. I gripped my stomach, laughing and flabbergasted. Get a load of this guy. You're an idiot. But Bradley's eyes went red. Watch,
snap.
I'll prove it. He wrapped Rusty's mane around his wrist and tugged hard, snapping Rusty's neck back. Go on, stupid horse, kick me. He laughed and clenched his jaw like he was ready. Rusty snorted in anger and stomped her leg on the ground so hard dust went flying. I gasped as I knew what this meant. I didn't want my cousin potentially dying, so I put my head on her neck to calm her down. It's okay, girl. But then Bradley gripped his head, laughing. It's a girl too? Yeah, her kicks won't be hard. Everyone knows girls are weaker than boys.
Alright,
He started
well.
kicking Rusty's calf. Come on, girl, kick me. I saw Rusty's leg lift, and my jaw dropped as I realized she was about to kick. So I immediately shoved Bradley away before she could, and pointed towards the house. Get out of here, dude. Right now. Bradley looked past my shoulder up at Rusty. Told you couldn't kick me. He threw his middle fingers at her, then turned around. I breathed a sigh of relief, but then Bradley froze. He smiled as he saw the searing iron rod 10 yards away that we used to mark fences. He grabbed it and immediately started marching towards Rusty,
gosh.
pointing the red metal tip at her. Maybe now she'll try kick. I stood there shook. Bradley, no. But he pushed me out of the way and raised the rod inches from Rusty's leg. Kick me. That's when I saw Rusty tighten.
want
She
her
raised
to
her
kick
leg
him.
and swung it backwards right as the rod was about to touch her. Her hoof hit Bradley's chest so hard I heard a crack, a pop, and a deflation all at once. Bradley literally flew through the air,
Oh, snap.
landing on a hay bale 30 feet away as Rusty whinnied in satisfaction. I walked over to Bradley, who was clutching his chest. I didn't think she could kick that hard, he wheezed. I pet...
Jeez. He literally went flying like 100 feet. Alright, next video.
I came home from a
Alright, so this video is my girlfriend had one job. Okay?
work trip, and my girlfriend met me at the door with a blindfold. She got it on before I could look past her. I have a huge surprise for you. She walked me inside, and above me, I could hear our upstairs running. Then she pulled the blindfold off, and my eyes expanded to the size of the moon. There was a sledgehammer on our couch, and a hole where the wall used to be. What did you do? I made it open concept. I grit my teeth and asked her what that wall was holding up before she took it down, but she waved me off. Babe, walls are just decoration. They don't hold anything up. That's when a crack
What?
popped above her head and spidered into a thin line across the ceiling. I grabbed her hand. We need to leave now, but she was already giving me the tour, pointing at empty air. The new couch goes here, and the vending machine goes there. I saw the crack above us split into three, dust snowing
Oh,
into
no.
her hair. So I pulled her toward the door, but she pulled me back. I'm thinking of getting a new bathtub, but I don't know where it should go. Then I heard our
How did she not
upstairs
notice
neighbor's
it?
bathwater running, except it sounded too close. A warm drop landed on my forehead. The ceiling groaned like a sinking ship. I grabbed her waist and dove out the front door as everything came down behind us. The wall my girlfriend broke had been holding the entire bathtub in the apartment above us. When the dust settled, our upstairs neighbor was sitting in his bathtub in our living room, still holding his loofah. My girlfriend peeked past me and tilted her head, and the bathtub goes
I can't
there.
help it.
Me and my sister
This is gonna be the last video, but it says we ran away to find Dad. Okay.
asked Mom, "When is Dad coming home?" And she instantly shouted, "Never! Your dad hates us!" She picked up the last framed photo of them off the dresser and threw it in the fireplace, crying as it burned. Me and my sister looked at each other and decided we had to go find him. So the next day when Mom went to work, me and Jenny took a 3-hour bus to the town we used to live in. We visited the old park the 4 of us used to go and showed strangers old photos, but couldn't find him. But then Jenny yelled, "Wait, I think I see Dad." She was pointing at the bar he loved. Me and Jenny instantly sprinted in and started shoving through the crowd, but he wasn't there. We screamed, "Dad! Dad!" And that's when someone grabbed our shoulder. A man we didn't recognize bent down and smiled. "Your dad sent me to come get you. I know exactly where he is." Me and Jenny lit up, and we started following him out back, our hands trembling with excitement as we were about to see our dad. But then we turned into an
They're
alley,
gonna
and
get kidnapped. I already know.
4 grown men instantly surrounded us. My chest went cold, but before I could ask what's going on, the guy from the bar laughed. "You kids are so dumb. Now give us your phones and jackets. Our kids need Christmas presents." My legs were shaking. Jenny yelled, "No, not until we see our dad." The men laughed. "Your dad isn't here," and started reaching for us. My stomach was doing flips as his hand reached inside my pocket, but that's when a fist connected with his face.
Oh
Dad
my-
was here. The guy fell, and Dad punched another man. They all
Jeez,
started
that guy is literally 1,000 pounds. Jeez.
running, and Dad instantly scooped me and Jenny into a hug. We cried, still shaking in fear. Dad asked what we're doing here, and when we explained everything and how we want our mom and dad back together, he went quiet. 2 hours later, we were back, and Mom's jaw dropped when she came home from work. I want to try it.
How does that make sense? They said they took a 3-hour bus ride. and they got back in 2 hours. Okay? And I
Again,
guess-
honey, Dad pulled her into a hug while she sobbed. It's now 6 months later, and there's a new framed photo on the dresser. Me and my sister.
Okay, that was pretty good videos. But that's gonna be it for today's video, and I hope you enjoy, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.